Good evening, afternoon, morning, Facebook Live. Let me get Instagram going. Now, as you are tuning in, good evening, good afternoon, Instagram. Nice to see you all. As you're tuning in, love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. A little later than normal. Marilyn, welcome. Cassie, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about how to handle different situations that come up along the journey. This is one of my favorite takeaways from today. We've been in a board meeting for 11 hours all day, and we've been analyzing each other's companies and really learning about how everyone's doing and what are the strategic objectives needed to continue to grow, enhance, adjust, whatever it is that the owner of each company is looking to do. We've had a lot of fun, but one of my favorite takeaways has to do with how do you handle situations that come up and what type of time is necessary to get the result you want. It's one of my favorites from today. So on day number 21 of our 100-day personal performance and business growth challenge, we're going to talk about two types of time. And as you are tuning in, love to know again, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you are grateful for in the comment section. Hello, friends in Mexico. I see you there. Bradley, good afternoon. Beck, hello. Marianne, Marilyn, welcome, welcome. Hey, from Sydney, Australia. Grateful for a 4-month baby. Love my family and time to give. Very nice. Life-changing. Omaha, welcome. Los Angeles, welcome. Toronto, welcome. Shout out from Gresham, Oregon. Right back at you. Florida, nice to see you. Let's see. Marianne, sending love from Philly. Welcome back. So, California, grateful for my kids, my husband, and Tony Robbins. Very cool. How are you, sir? I'm doing very well. And yourself? So when we're talking about two types of time, what I'd love for you to do is identify two problems, or just identify the number one problem or obstacle that you're solving for right now. What's the number one obstacle that you're solving for right now? You know, yesterday when we talked, the number one obstacle standing between where you are and the result you want, when we talked about good strategy, bad strategy, which is a book I've been reading that I really love and appreciate. Some of you said that fear was the biggest obstacle. Some of you said that figuring out what to focus on is the biggest obstacle. Some of you guys said that, hello from Newport Richie, welcome. Some of you all said, oh, you're right, it is day 22. I will update it. Welcome back to day 22, midway through. Some of you guys said that it was your mindset. Some of it says it was uncertainty. Some of you said it was fear. Some of it said not knowing what to focus on. There's all these different obstacles that show up. But the question is, how do you handle, what kind of time do you put forth to handle the obstacle that's in your way? Now, this is a great little analogy, and I really loved it. Oh, hopefully, let's see if I can. Uh-oh. I think I'm locked out. Use passcode. I'm in. Haha. I don't know. Here we go. So there's two types of time of how you can handle any problem or any situation that shows up. And so we created a little chart. Whoops. Paintbrush. Let's see if it works. There's a little chart here. And this is really useful. I really like it. Hopefully you can see this chart going on. And they said there's, let's see how this worked. There's lifetime, and then there's 24-hour. So let me draw this on here for you all. 24-hour, and then lifetime. It's one of my favorite little pieces. So 24 hours up and down, lifetime across the bottom. And the concept was, if there's any situation that's going on, what is needed to actually solve it? Is this a lifetime kind of commitment of time that's necessary to solve this, or is this an emergency And with the emergency, this is, more or less, hold on. This is more or less an emergency. It's chaos. It's intense. It's anything that's an absolute kind of emergency situation, and chaos is going to happen up here versus other things are going to happen over time. And so the example Keith gave when he was talking to us, and this is really useful, if you lived right next to a giant dam and your house was 300 feet away from a gigantic dam that had hundreds of thousands or millions of gallons of water on the other side of it, if the dam started to break and you called the person who was in charge of fixing the dam and they said, oh, don't worry, if the dam breaks, we're just going to come out 1 hour at a time over the next 3 months. And over the next 3 months, we'll do an hour a month. And then hopefully we'll have it fixed before it breaks, floods your house, and kills everybody that you love. That's not the kind of time necessary to solve this kind of problem. You need the dam people to show up and say, hey, we're going to be here for the next 24 hours working our faces off to solve this. You need the dam people to show up and give it 100% focus for 100% of the energy right here, everything they've got for this short burst of time to handle this emergency. You don't need them over a long period of time. Now, the other example he gave, which was really funny, is, if you have you're trying to transform your health and you say, well, I know what I'm going to do. Well, you're at the dam, fixing the dam. I'm going to go to the gym because I need to get healthy. So I'm going to go to the gym for 24 hours straight, and I'm just going to go work out for 24 hours. I'm going to run 2 marathons, lift thousands of pounds, drink all my vitamins. I'm going to hit the gym for 24 hours straight. And that's going to solve everything that is going on in my health and fitness. Now, what's funny is if you're smart, that wouldn't work. Going to the gym straight for 24 hours is not going to solve the health issue. Instead, going to the gym 24 days in a row for an hour each day, that has a chance at solving that health issue. And they said for most of the time when we're facing different problems and issues, a lot of us are solving with the wrong kind of time. We have a health crisis that happens, and the way we try to solve our health crisis when we're not feeling well is by going to the gym for 24 hours and thinking that's going to solve it. Also, we have other emergencies that show up, and we sit back and go, well, geez, I'll just give it a little bit of every day, and hopefully that'll handle it. And so really quickly, when you think of whatever the number one obstacle is that you're facing that's in between the result where you are and the result you want, whatever the real obstacle is, the question is what kind of effort and time is necessary to actually solve it. If it's a mindset piece, spending the next 24 hours reprogramming your mindset every single day again and again and again, or I'm sorry, just 24 hours every hour for the next 24 hours, there's a chance by tomorrow it might pop back up and get in the way. But if you spent 20 minutes a day reprogramming and reconditioning your mindset for the next 100 days, there's a good chance you'd have a whole different mindset. Now, if you, let's see, what was something that'd be an emergency problem? If you, all of a sudden broke your arm, like that's a, let's go to the emergency room and handle it right now. That's not a, let's handle it a few minutes for the next 10 days. So this is really important. It's asking based on the obstacle that you defined yesterday in day 21, today's 22. I need to update what this said in the beginning. Thanks for helping me, friends, in here. So for day 22, the question really becomes, what type of time do you have to properly appropriate towards the outcome to make sure you get the result you really want? Hopefully this makes sense. Now, a couple people said, can we ask questions? I'll do maybe 5 minutes for questions. So what questions do you have, or what things are you working on? And let's see if I can help. Let's see. What was the book called? So this book, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, was the one we were talking about earlier. Let's see, Nick. We update our phones, cloths, but sadly not our mind, usually. Most people don't update their mindset. It's something really interesting. My thought is you should always be getting better. There's no reason why your finances you shouldn't have more money and have more income every year because you're getting smarter, you're gaining more skill sets, you're learning more. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to apply all that and earn more, save more, invest more, grow the net income all the way. Let's see. Dang, this really hit home. Never thought of it this way. Glad it could help. In terms of consistency, what would you do to condition my mind and body? Sometimes I sleep in and feel unfulfilled, and then I don't follow through. So when it gets to coming up in the morning, that's a really simple. So lots of people are saying I have trouble staying consistent. So let's talk about consistency. Consistency, all it means is whatever your number one value is, whatever is most important to you, you do not see immediate ROI for getting done whatever you need to get done today. So let's say you want to wake up, or let's say you want to get up and you want to work out first thing in the morning every day for the next 30 days. And some days you do it, some days you don't. All that means is you do not have a link in your brain and your heart. It's not immediately connected to, if I work out right now, I get to immediately experience my number one value of what's most important to me in life. That's not linked up, because the moment you believe that if I get up right now at 3 a.m. and I go work out, then immediately I get to experience what's most important to me in life. The moment that links up, you'll be up at 3 a.m. every day working out. And so there's two questions you got to ask. Number one is, what's most important to you in life? And you got to write it down. And not what your brain says, but what you actually respond to. How do I know that? Because people tell me what's most important to me is God, family. What's most important to me is being a good person. And I say, really? Okay, well, how come you're not up at 3 a.m. every day for God working out? And they go, oh, well, you see, the thing is, and I said, well, if I offered you 10 million bucks, would you get up tomorrow for the next, or would you get up for the next 30 days at 3 a.m. every morning work out? They're like, well, sure I would. I go, oh. So not what you say is what's most important to you. I get that in your mind and in your heart that's most important to you. I'm talking about your actual actions every day. What things actually drive you? What's actually most important to what you show up and do every day? How do you follow up on your goals in order to track your progress? Great question. So I have a coach. That's what I'm here in Austin for. We're here with our coach and our board, where we specifically write down our major outcomes that are going to be completed within the next 3 months. And then we have a meeting 3 months from now, and we get to show our board the progress and write it up and stand up in front of 17 other business owners and say, here's how I did. And it's either a pat on the back of congratulations, or it's a uh-oh, and I got to explain myself to 18 other business owners that are holding me accountable to show up and deliver what I said I would. So accountability is found in finding a coach, finding a group, finding a partner, finding someone or something that you're held accountable to, and they uphold the standard and keep you to your word. We have lots of different ways. For my clients in coaching, we use stuff like this little band that I'm connected to, and I can see how well they slept. I can see how well their heart rate variability did last night, how well their nervous system recovered. I can see how hard they worked out today. We have another one called Muse that I could tap in and see how well they were able to clear their mind this morning. Another one called Spire that tracks their breathing. I can tell how often they're tense, calm, or focused throughout the day. So how do they stay accountable? They stay accountable because I have a dashboard and metrics on everything from their breathing to the ability to clear their mind to how hard they pushed today to how well they recovered today. And so I know exactly what's going on in their world. And so one thing that's really cool, I had a client last night. He didn't sleep so well. I woke up this morning and went, uh-oh, he only got 4 hours of sleep. I texted him immediately and said, yo, what happened last night? Now, he was at the emergency room with his dog, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But here's the question. I know something happened that threw you off, but big question. What are you going to do today to be at your best self? He said, okay, I've got a 3-minute ice cold shower. I'm going to hit a cryotherapy session. I'm going to do breathing. I want to make sure I get a workout. I'm going to go stretch. I'm going to make sure I go to bed early. He had a whole list of things immediately to focus on to get him back to his best self for today and to prepare to optimize for tomorrow. And so when we talk about how do we keep people accountable, we use tech to absolutely get down to their freaking heartbeat, how well it's beaten and how often, so we know the pulse of how they're really doing. How do you think? Okay, let's see. High tech, I love it. Very nice. What was your greatest takeaway from today? Great question. Man, I haven't reviewed the whole day yet, but there's such good ones. Let me grab my little journal. Let's see. I tend to wait until it's urgent and important, then I have to dig in from max current time. How can I start to push things out in the future in the flow zone? Great question. The biggest piece of that is getting ahead of it. So it's starting to put stuff in the calendar before it's necessary and training yourself to link up in your mind that by doing this now ahead of time, I'm going to be immediately rewarded to my highest value for doing so. If you guys need help on understanding the values concept, go buy the book, The Values Factor by John DeMartini. It's wonderful. Biggest takeaway from today. Man, there's so many. This is one of my favorites. If you're chasing revenue, so you're trying to look big as a company, you're going to add more products and add more services and add more things for people to buy so you can pump up more revenue and get big. If you're chasing profit, more often than not, you're going to get skinny on what you're offering, and you're only going to offer the most profitable things. One is about getting big, one is about getting rich. That's one of my favorite distinctions today. It's something we did a few years ago, thanks to the advice of Keith, who's here with us. We were offering a lot of different things, and we were getting big. And as we were getting big, people were patting us on the back saying, congratulations, look at how big you are, look at how many events you're doing, look at how you're all over the world. And we were getting big, but we were getting broke in the process of getting big. And Keith gave us advice back then. He said, hey, narrow down on what the most profitable things are that y'all do and focus. And when we focused on what was most profitable, all of a sudden as a company, we started getting rich. And we're always rich because we focus on helping people and making a difference in their lives. We reach the people that need us most the moment they need it with the message they need. So we're very proud of that. But financially rich, we started getting financially rich because we started to narrow down on the most profitable activities we did and stopped allowing ourselves to be distracted by everything else. That's probably my favorite takeaway from the day. Just a good reminder of something we've been doing the last 4 years that really worked. And again, if you want to get big, focus on lots of services and lots of products. If you want to get rich, narrow it down to the most profitable things and stay wildly focused on those. Let's see. It's dinner time here. My wife is waiting for me, so I'm going to say good evening. Hopefully you have an amazing day, morning, afternoon. But I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day number 23. Thank you for catching me on that, of our 100-day challenge here.